Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
Welcome to another episode of the Lock Shop, and he's leaving on a jet plane. Huss, off to Qatar today. You excited, buddy?
I am very excited. I cannot wait for the World Cup. And of course, I'm excited for the Grey Cup. And if things work out, I'll get there just in time to figure out how the hell I'm going to watch the Bombers hopefully go for 3 in a row. We made our picks for the Grey Cup in yesterday's Lock Shop, along with our NFL best bets to check that out. But yeah, we got to get to some NFL parlays and props. And of course, some futures for the World Cup and a bunch of Canada bets that are available right now before kickoff of the tournament at coolbet.com.
All right, as always on Saturdays, we start with our Lock Shop Partner Parlay. And if you're watching this and you haven't checked out our Best Bets episode, our official Grey Cup pick, it's on Friday's stream. You can find that on our YouTube channel. Just search the Lock Shop on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe so you get notifications. Turn on those notifications so you know when we go live. And also, of course, subscribe to the podcast. On all your podcasting platforms, just search for the Lock Shop. Partner Parlay is going to be paying plus 510 this week. I brought in the Chicago Bears on this bad boy. You had the Bears at plus 3.5 on your best bets as well. So, I mean, we're pretty much in agreement on all of these. It's not like we ever really go rogue in this situation. But I did move it back to the 3.5 that you got it at. It was for me on Friday at plus 3. Felt better getting the hook here for the Bears at plus 3.5. I'm fully on board the Justin Fields train. Sign me up. I'm on board with this guy. And on the other side of it, I mean, I know Marcus Mariota has done some cute things this year, but he can't throw the ball down the field. Like, he can't throw the ball down the field. So, a lot of this game is going to be on the ground. I think that's good news for the Chicago Bears as well, Huss. So, more than confident throwing the Chicago Bears here plus 3.5 on the parlay.
Yeah, I mean, what the Bears have been doing offensively has been nuts. I mean, the only thing that has been missing is wins over the last couple of weeks. I mean, they've found ways to lose, and obviously their defense needs to step up. But I think we've sort of seen the best of Atlanta so far this year. I thought they were sort of exposed the previous week against Carolina, of all teams, in the Thursday nighter. And I do think Chicago, I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago wins this game outright. I certainly think they'll keep it close. So really like the 3.5. And I'll say the same thing for the Detroit Lions. I mean, the Lions, I think, got such a boost from that win over the Packers in the fashion that they did. They kept it going, and there's a belief growing. They had some terrible losses earlier this year in games that they had no business losing. They've sort of turning that around right now, and obviously they're upset over the Bears last week to make it 2 in a row. I think gives them a lot of momentum going in, and this number right now, if you're just betting it straight, is 3, which essentially says on a neutral field, this is a pick 'em. So they're almost begging us to take the Giants, but I think there's a reason for that. I think the Detroit Lions are going to come in and have every possibility of maybe spoiling the day for the Giants overall. I think this is close. We're going to take that plus 3 and the hook for a close game. And then the other one that we popped in is Cincinnati. And listen, Cincinnati got pumped in game 1 of the season when TJ Watt was back. And he, of course, will be back. But I think that the Bengals have hit their stride offensively right now. I think they remember what happened in week 1. I think they sort of plant their flag back near the top of the division against a team that overall, particularly offensively, is outmatched by Cincinnati. We've got it down to 2.5, Cincy by a field goal. Really like this play to go along with the 2 underdogs that we're taking at 3.5 getting points.
Yeah, and just a quick note there on Cincinnati. The line right now is 4. So we moved it down to 2.5 to toss it into the parlay, and it'll end up being plus 510. You can find that Coolbet. Click on Coolbet exclusives. You'll see the Lock Shop Partner Parlay, and you can hop on there. It's the only place you're going to find that number at plus 510. All right, let's get to some other props and parlays here, Huss. And let's dive into our parlays first. We got some touchdown scores as well, and then we'll get to some World Cup futures. But what do you got here? You got 3 different parlays for us today, Huss?
Yeah, I did a couple just smaller ones and then an underdog. I started it off with just a 2-gamer. I mentioned Detroit. I mean, Detroit and Houston, I really like them as underdogs this week. If you get it to 3.5 on both of them, so you have the extra half point, which I think could be significant, that gets to plus 231. So just a quick 2-gamer to start it off. Then I'm taking a couple of my other picks that we do like. We've got Detroit, Carolina, and Kansas City on one ticket. Now, Carolina plus 13, talked about it. I mean, big double-digit underdogs have a great record this year. I just think that it's just way, way too much points. And the Kansas City Chiefs at minus 5.5 right now. Listen, Mahomes is going to be without a number of his top receivers. We probably know Juju Smith-Schuster, good chance of no MVS. Kadarius Toney, I think, is going to have a big, big game right now. If you got him in fantasy, definitely jump on that one. But I'll tell you what, the way Mahomes is playing right now and with how depleted the Chargers are and where they're at right now as a team, I'm going to roll with Kansas City with this one. So we got those three together: Carolina plus 13, Lions plus 3, and the Chiefs minus 5.5 pays plus 615. But the real swing for the fences is the underdog parlay. We've talked a lot about Detroit and a lot about Chicago. I wouldn't be surprised if both of those teams win. And the Minnesota Vikings, I think, are criminally underrated in this spot. The fact that we're getting plus money on the money line for an 8-1 team at home against the Cowboys, who are as Jekyll and Hyde as anyone in the NFL, doesn't make any sense to me. So we're rolling with the Lions, Bears, and Minnesota Vikings, the NFC North wrecking crew, to run the table. Those three teams on the money line together plus 1072. That is my underdog parlay for the weekend.
I like that one. I'm going to get on that one for sure. I like that a lot. All right, I've got two. I've just got one that's just a straight up money line 5-gamer. All right, I don't know if I've dropped a 5-gamer on you so far this season, but here's a 5-gamer that pays plus 575. We got Buffalo on there. We got Kansas City on there. I did throw Cincinnati on there. They're a 4-point favorite. We moved them down to the partner parlay. Cincinnati to win on the road in Pittsburgh. And then New England, some smaller favorites in here as well. New England, I love them at home against the Jets. I rode with New England, was it last week or the week before? They've done very well for me so far this season. So I'm on New England on the money line there. And I think Washington walks Houston. We kind of talked about it on Friday's episode. I think Houston gets it done here. Or Washington gets it done here. So I'm on the Washington money line there. So Washington, New England, Buffalo, KC, and Cincy. All they got to do is win. And that's plus 575. And then I decided to go with some totals for the other one. And 3-gamer, plus 536. I'm going to take the Bills over 28.5. Nice that game's not going to be in the snow. It's going to be indoors. I think the Browns will probably score points in this game as well. I think I'd probably lean towards the over overall, but I do like Buffalo over 28.5 here. The Browns are a team that hemorrhages points. It's as simple as that. Detroit over 20.5. Considering what their offense just did against the Bears, they go up against the Giants. I love it that it's only 20.5. So Detroit over 20.5. And then I am going to go with Houston under 19.5 points against that Commanders defense that has really found its stride here over the last 5 weeks. So Houston under 19.5, Detroit over 20.5, and then Buffalo over 28.5 points. And that will pay plus 536, which ain't too shabby. I like that one.
Hey, by the way, I just need to clarify something, and I sent this to you wrong, but that plus 231, the 2-gamer, is actually Chicago plus 3.5 and Houston plus 3.5. I didn't want to have the same game on both ones. So it doesn't change the numbers, but just if you're looking at that, the 2-game parlay is actually Chicago plus 3.5, Houston plus 3.5, plus 231.
And then you got Detroit on the other one.
Detroit's in at plus 3 with the Panthers and the Chiefs spread bets at plus 615.
All right, let's get some touchdowns before we talk some soccer. And look, I'll lay it out here. Justin Fields, 5 touchdowns in his last 4 games. And it wasn't spread out. It was 1 touchdown, 1 touchdown, 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns. You're still getting plus 135 on it. I don't understand it for the life of me. The key to Chicago's offense right now is Justin Fields running the ball in for a touchdown. So take this plus 135 while you can get it. And then Travis Kelce, I'm going to take it plus money. He only has 1 touchdown in his last 4 games. It came last game, but he only has 1 touchdown in his last 4 games, which I guess is why we're getting this number here at plus 100. He has the same odds as Kadarius Toney to get a touchdown. Kadarius Toney is at plus 100. And I know a bunch of guys are banged up. I get it. But Travis Kelce, the same value as Kadarius Toney, I'll take Travis Kelce at plus 100 to score a touchdown, double my money.
Yeah. Remember what happened the last time the Chiefs were in prime time with Travis Kelce?
4 touchdowns.
Four
Yeah.
touchdowns. So
Yeah.
listen, I like that. I think there'll be a ton of Kelce this weekend. It'll be a great fantasy play as well. My 2 touchdown props, I'm going to go to that Minnesota-Dallas game. I was surprised that we're getting plus money on Justin Jefferson. He has been absolutely incredible. I mean, the catch, we could talk for hours about that catch he made last week, which was a huge part in that comeback. 4th and 18, full Odell Beckham grab over the shoulder. One of the greatest catches in NFL history, I think. He is such a difference maker, and he's basically unguardable right now. And the Vikings know how to get him the football, and man, can he make things happen after the catch. Love Jefferson to get into the end zone at plus 110. And listen, we talked a lot about this Lions-Giants game and how Amon-Ra St. Brown has just, he's such a difference maker in that Detroit offense. He sees as many targets as anybody in the National Football League right now. And I think that they keep rolling him. Plus 150 to get in the end zone against the New York Giants in a game that I think Detroit is very live in and could very well win. Sign me up for that. So I'm going with 2 of the best receivers in football this week, both at plus money. Justin Jefferson, plus 110, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, plus 150 for the Lions going into MetLife to take on the Giants.
Love that St. Brown pick. He's my starter of the week from the Fantasy Football Extravaganza earlier in the week. I think he's got a huge week coming. All right, so there goes. Props and Parlays Saturday. But today, before we wrap up, let's slide over to football. The other side of it, the World Cup. Huss, we run a couple of the same things here. We both like Buchanan to get a goal in the group. That's great value, I think, at plus 475. And I'm riding with you on Argentina to win this entire thing. Talked about it on my radio show Friday morning as well. Plus 520. They've constructed a team around Messi. Maybe the best team built around, maybe the most talented team he's ever played with. But from what I've read and from some of the previews and podcasts I've listened to, they really like the way that this team is built around him and the support is in place for him. So Argentina plus 520. Let's go.
Hey, full disclosure here, folks. I'm going to be there. We're going to be taking in the fan experience. We're going to be having a lot of fun with the content. I'm having a great run with football picks against the spread. No hockey pretty well. This far from a soccer expert. So these are a little bit more some heart picks. I'm just going to tell you that right off the bat. The one thing, though, I love the narrative. I love the thought. Argentina to win for Messi. He's done everything with the exception of the great elite international success in an event like this. And I think it'll be fun to cheer for. It'll be fun to follow. And he still is one of the best on the planet right now. Brazil's the favorite. Argentina second up. So let's get just over 5-1 Argentina to win. And yeah, man, that Tajon Buchanan goal number at plus 475. I'm a huge fan of his. I think that he will definitely be impactful. So I've actually got 2 Canada props. And by the way, if you go to, there's Canada specials where basically all sorts of individual player options that you can bet on, as well as placings, goals, fouls, all those things. I'm also going to take Alphonso Davies, most assists. Like, I like Canada. I think we're going to score some goals. The one thing about this Canadian team, I mean, we're not a team that just goes out and tries to, snooze you through a 0-0 tie. We've got some fast young players up front, and while our defense might sometimes leave a little bit to be desired, we can create offense, and Alphonso Davies is the key for that. I love Davies to be the setup guy where he plays in the midfield to the attacking role. Plus 400 for Davies to have the most assists for Canada, and Tajon Buchanan to get a goal is at plus 475. Obviously, Jonathan David, Kyle Larin, the top couple options, but I do think Buchanan can have a big impact. Now, as far as Canada props, these are maybe the biggest heart bets we've ever made on the lock shop, but why not us? We're there. We're going for it. Canada to advance from the group to be one of the top 2 teams in the group, plus 295. And if you really want to get aggressive, there's always one Cinderella team that sort of shocks everyone and not only makes it out of the group, but wins a game. How about 10-1 on Canada to reach the quarterfinal? I realize that might be a little aggressive, but what the heck? We're back for the first time since 86. It's getting a sprinkle. But one of my favorite bets that I could not help but jump on, Canada to proceed further than their CONCACAF rivals, the United States of America. That's a head-to-head bet. Canada do better than the States, plus 148. And to be honest, this is just scratching the surface of what is available. Of course, the host Qataris take on Ecuador on Sunday, and then 3 games a day for the next couple of weeks. So make sure to spend a little bit of time in the Coolbet World Cup section, see everything that's available.
You get lost in
before
there.
it's off the board when the team gets going.
Yeah, there's so many different options for you. There's a ton. In addition to Buchanan and Argentina to win, a few other ones I like. We talked about this, I guess, on Wednesday's show, and I'm gonna go with the. I don't know why it says Group 5. That should have been an F. But yeah, Group F, the finish: Belgium, Canada, Croatia, Morocco, plus 1,600. If Canada can get that game against Croatia, this is looking really nice. So I got to be on this. I mean, it just seems like too good of number to cheer for Canada to sit here and go, yes, Canada's in 16-1. I love it. So 16-1 there, plus 1,600. And then, if we're gonna be on the emotional picks, and that's what this is. I mean, I've always been a big Messi guy. He's my favorite of all those bigger stars that have come along. Argentina to win, Messi to get the golden boot, 20-1. So come on. If Argentina's going to win and the storyline is here for Messi, come on. So if I'm in on Argentina, I got to be in on this one at plus 2,000 right now. So give me Argentina and Messi to win the golden boot. I think he's plus 700 to win the golden ball. But yeah, plus, I think he's like the third favorite to win the golden boot, which is why I guess maybe you're getting this at 20-1. But Argentina and Messi, the glorious send-off for Messi with Argentina, and plus 2,000, buddy. I like that.
I love it. I mean, you can start writing the scripts right now of the great Messi story of the World Cup of Qatar. I'm here for it. And by the way, just as we're finishing this up, I realize that every game is booked right now at Coolbet. So I'm firing off a few more darts when it comes to the best possible scenario for Canada. I have just bet a draw against Belgium. That's the first game for Canada. That would be a crazy result if they could get it happen. It's just about 4-1. Yeah, plus 340 for that. And then sprinkled on wins against the Croatians. Canada to win against Croatia is plus 395. And Canada to win against Morocco plus 220. All those games. Well, every game of the tournament is up right now. So if you want to pick a spot, grab a couple, do a big parlay for early on, it is all there for you. But go Canada, go. And make sure you are following myself and Jake Boland-Moss on all the Coolbet Canada social channels. Follow me on Instagram at Hustlerama. We'll be following a bunch of stuff out there as well, and giving you the sights and sounds that you won't see. We're not going to be breaking down the 4-4-2 attack of any of the clubs, but we will be breaking down some of the great sights and scenes around the World Cup, hooking up with fans, and hopefully giving people a little bit of taste of what it's like to have boots on the ground at the biggest sporting event in the world.
Safe travels, buddy. I wish I was with you, and hopefully we can catch up on Monday and things go smoothly. We'll talk to you then, bud. Safe travels.
Right on. Have a great weekend. Go Blue.